whatever the Mama Dolores margarita mix brand. That's the vodka.
Nice. Is that the official name, Mama Dolores?
It was.
Mama Dolores vodka.
Well, we're talking about a lot of drinks here today. Mama Dolores vodka, amongst other things. I think, what other way to celebrate our third year of Rabbit Troop Sucks Halloween Spooktacular than Mama Dolores?
Yeah.
Real Halloween tradition.
She's the keeper of Halloween.
Yeah.
Well, welcome back to Rabbit Troop Sucks. We are a podcast about obscure, forgotten about, and often overlooked films. And yes, as noted, this is our third year Halloween Spooktacular. Welcome back, everybody. As always, I am your host, Paul. Next to me is my co-host, Mike.
I was going to do like a Crypt Keeper voice, but I don't think I can.
You could try.
No, sorry.
We have Lamar.
Hello.
We have Jeremy in the studio.
Yo.
We have Rami.
Hey, everybody.
And we have Collin.
Boo.
Bam. That's how you just do it. And we're going to come at you with 1996, The Frighteners, starring Michael J. Fox. And we have Peter Jackson as the director. And, yeah.
Sir Peter Jackson.
Is that a real thing?
Yeah.
When did he...
Yeah,
when was he knighted?
I don't know.
Did they knight people
are
in
you-
New Zealand?
They do. He's a New Zealand knight. Not like
That's just like a guy running around in like a smock.
it's
out
like
in the
a
forest.
Kentucky colonel.
I don't want to talk ill of New Zealand because this movie was filmed in New Zealand. I didn't know that when I first watched it. Collin looked this up, and I was like, "Where's this film?" Because it's super beautiful, but it seems cheapened that he was knighted in New Zealand.
Well, it's still like a British place.
It just seems like you could probably go anywhere in New Zealand.
Yeah.
You can just you just send money in and
You
get
just
a
like-
certificate.
You can go anywhere in New Zealand.
You just go buy a bowl of muesli and
Right.
get knighted.
You had to fill like a form. It was in the
Yeah.
back of like a magazine.
Like they thank you for your service.
Right.
You got to stay in one of the hobbit holes for like
Right.
a week.
It's like a Subway Club card. You just put stamps on it and mail it in.
I'd still do it.
Yeah.
I mean, it wouldn't stop me from doing it.
Yeah. No. His wife is apparently a New Zealand dame as well.
Wow.
Royalty.
I learned something about this movie. I think it's Peter Jackson. Yes, Peter Jackson is also one of the writers. But the screenwriter is Fran Walsh, and she basically has done the screenwriting for all of his material, which is crazy. Like Lord of the Rings, King Kong, everything I was looking up. I can't read my handwriting. Oh, Dead Alive. So she's been with him like for a long time. I don't know if she's still doing stuff, but I was like, wow, that's cool. Danny Elfman is doing the soundtrack, so we've got that.
Yeah. This was supposed to be a Tales from the Crypt movie.
Really?
Yeah. But then Zemeckis read the script. He's like, this kind of fucks. Like, this should be a real movie.
That's awesome.
And then they did it.
Wait, Zemeckis or Peter Jackson?
Zemeckis.
Robert Bobby.
Is he the producer of this film?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, well, we've got them all.
Yeah. You got Zemecked.
You didn't hear me talking about it?
The stars are aligned.
It was blowing my mind.
Yeah. Blowing all kinds of stuff.
Well, after a tragic car accident that kills his wife, a man discovers that he can communicate with the dead, and he uses that gift to con people. However, when a demonic spirit appears, he may be the only one who could stop it from killing the living and the dead. Frighteners, 1996. Saw this movie in the theater like 5 times.
There you go.
You wouldn't
Do you like this
theater.
movie?
At this point in time, I had a friend who worked at the movie theater. I honestly saw this movie probably at least 3 times in the theater, and I don't know if I paid for any of the viewings.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah, that makes it easy.
Yeah, so there was a lot of times in like the mid 90s or like maybe sort of the later 90s that people were like, yeah, you just go see it. And I was like, I will see all the movies that I can. Mm-hmm. Jeremy and I went to high school with someone, and unfortunately I don't remember his name. It wasn't like a million times that this guy did it, but he worked at a Warenberg Theaters, and I believe he let me, Jeremy, and everyone I knew in once.
Do you remember the theme song to Warenberg
Theater? There was a point in time you could buy that Like there was like for charity, we have it on a cassette.
You
tape.
could buy like the really. It
It's an
was
8-track.
How long is the song, or was it just like 20 seconds?
It was like 2 minutes.
And you listen to it over and over again.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It was just repeat.
You pick up the ladies in your car like, chicks, I got this hot banger.
But I
Pop it into my Alpine.
I remember this dude like let us in. He was like, he was like in one of our classes. I was like, oh my god, like I now have $5 extra. Like that's like I could do anything. Like I'm a god. I could buy snacks.
You buy goobers all over the place.
I could use this for next week's movie that I see. Like, oh my god, I was planning ahead.
$5 in the mid-90s, yes.
None of this is very Halloween spectacular. We need to really amp this. Skeletons,
Say
ghosts.
it's spookier, yeah.
Mwahaha. Welcome, people.
Who are you?
Humans.
Well, yeah, we've got Michael J. Fox, and we've got a lot of people that I've seen before outside of this, but really Michael J. Fox. And we've got one of the Buseys. Last week we had a Busey too.
Double
Silver
Buse.
Bullet. Yeah.
Back-to-back Buse.
Deuce Buse.
The Deuce Buse is loose.
Say
That
that.
sounds like
Yeah.
that sounds gross.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it does.
it does.
Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah.
I've stalled the podcast.
I don't
No
know
one
what to say
does.
about it,
Sorry.
but,
End of podcast.
yeah, it's been a pleasure.
We're off the
Yeah.
air.
If everyone wasn't aware, you're going to be aware now that at the end of this episode, much like the last two episodes, we've got a trivia game, which includes prizes and bragging rights and
This trivia
knowledge.
it's dedicated to Mike. We should say that.
Oh,
also,
thanks,
you know?
guys. I appreciate that.
Wait, what?
Yeah, we're gonna dedicate. He loves the trivia so
Yeah,
much.
but I was complaining about the trivia to Jeremy.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, there's going to be some trivia.
Yeah, well, we'll do it. For the listeners. I didn't say viewers that time. See, listeners. I'm getting there.
Hey, just remember I say users.
Do the users. That's more accurate.
I always view the words.
Yeah. I finally loaded up one of the transcripts on Apple Podcasts. It was interesting, its choice of words.
I also have seen some of the transcripts, like especially like the first couple of minutes, and I'm usually like, "What is happening?" And I was like, "Oh, we were talking about some of
Yeah,
those
it
things,"
just-
but then some of the words that do come up, I'm like, "Nope,
It
we
just
weren't
doesn't
saying
make
that."
sense when you read it.
Mike, you don't understand microchip.
I don't. Yeah.
Does it make us sound more intelligent, or is it just gibberish?
It doesn't make us sound more intelligent.
No. It sounds like we're very poor users of grammar.
Yeah, we
and
need to
word
run this
structure.
through like AI or something.
That might make it worse.
Yeah,
I
it's
think
a
it's
little
being
bit.
run through AI is the problem.
We need to run it through dumber AI.
Yeah, it like shows up and it doesn't like clearly separate people, but I know who's saying what, like usually. But like imagine Colin's like, I went to beaches and fun people were doing things. And I'm like, sort of, we said that.
Yeah, the fact that it doesn't like break it up amongst people, it just sounds like one person saying a
Yeah.
completely bananas
Like they're a
sentence.
lunatic.
Yeah. Microchip.
It's all about the microchip.
In the end,
Spooky microchips. It's Halloween, guys. Bring it back.
there you go.
You know, I've said this before, and you know, maybe you've had years to think about this, but before we jump into the Frighteners, it is our Halloween Spooktacular. This is a bonus episode.
Oh, shit.
And, you know, we're going to have to think about next year because Halloween's on a Friday. Do we do 2 episodes? Do we do an episode before and after? Like,
idea.
we usually do 2 because this is Halloween.
Yeah.
And Halloween's not always on a Friday. And we'll release this one on a Wednesday as a little buffer. And then November 1st will be a Friday. So that will be the other episode. Yeah. Well, any Halloween memories that any of you like? I was noting to Jeremy, I'm pretty sure, and I don't know if I've said this before on air, I'm pretty sure Jeremy and I and 2 of our other friends were the last 4 to go trick-or-treating. It was like junior high, where like people like don't trick-or-treat anymore, but we're also like, it wasn't like an extended trip. It was more like, we're probably going to go to someone's house and watch movies, but like I'm willing to go out for like 35 to, I don't know, an hour-ish minutes.
And like you dress up by just putting like a red headband on.
I straight up
go,
told
guys.
Jeremy, I was like, I remember my outfit. I wore all black and a glow-in-the-dark hockey mask. Like, there was like no effort whatsoever. It was like, and I wasn't like terrorizing anyone. People were like, cool, here's some candy, am I right by? Like, I wasn't like threatening. Like, and that was it. And that was like kind of the last time we ever did that. Anyone have any fun memories of Halloween though?
I think ours were very similar. Probably a little too old to be out trick or treating, but you'd go at like 9 o'clock, and if someone was fool enough to have their lights on, you'd ring the doorbell still and be like, "Why are you still out?" It's like, "Well, give us the rest of your candy." And half the time they would, so you'd only have to hit 3
fair.
or 4 houses to get just a shit ton of candy. And we did that for, I probably through a little, like, too late in high school. Probably my sophomore year, we still were doing shit like that.
I haven't given out candy in a while, but that was always the saving grace at the end of Halloween, is the teenagers who would come by late and probably wouldn't even have costumes on, and I'd be like, "Would you just take all of this candy, please?"
I need you to get this shit off my property. I'm shutting off the light between me and you. Get the hell out of here, kid. Yeah, any fond memories? You know, I know Mike absolutely hated this movie, but I think the sentiment could be carried on. We watched the midnight hour on our first Halloween Spooktacular. I just have fond memories of like coming home as a kid and like that would be on, or like other movies like made for TV movies or things like that, and it'd be like it was like this weird gray area where like my parents were like, you could go out on your own for a little bit, but you have to be home by like blank hour. But when I would come home, it would be early enough to be like, you could still eat some of your candy and like watch a little bit of TV. And it was just like these fuzzy memories of watching those shows and eating a little bit of candy and like trading some candy with my brother, and just watching that. Like, and just, it was just like really peaceful and nice, and just like being like, oh, I got to dress up and that was awesome. And I don't know. Any of you guys got any fond memories of Halloween?
I just like the movies. Like, I enjoy watching horror movies for like a month. Like, I have been this month so far. Like, I'm watching like the Creepshow anthology series. We watched horror movies today.
Jeremy and I watched the horror movie anthology Trick or Treat with Anna Paquin earlier today.
Oh, wow.
Delicious.
You had a fun pack. You had a fun pack day there.
Yeah, lots of movies. Yeah, I agree, Jeremy, with the movies. I mean, clearly, like, apropos to the podcast that we're now recording for, I know I've said this on air, but like, definitely one of my favorite Halloween moments was, it was like super snowy and shitty in Denver. Like, surprise, if you live in Denver, this is like 80% of all Halloweens, except for like last year was like 70 degrees, whatever the hell that was. But usually it's all like snow or whatever. And I remember some of my friends were like going out to like a party, and Lamar knew them too, but it was like an off day. It was like seriously like Wednesday. And Lamar was like, dude, I am totally not leaving my house. And I was like, would you be up for like a movie? He's like, I'd watch a movie. And we wound up watching Jason in Space.
Oh, there you go.
And we ordered a pizza, and it was just like a really nice Halloween. I went to bed early, and you know, I had to like go to work the next day, or you know, school or whatever it was, or maybe both. But yeah, that was like super chill.
That's such an old man Halloween.
Yeah, but I mean,
Look who you're talking to.
but it was also like a Wednesday and crap. Like nothing was going on. Like even the party our friends were going to seemed like sketch. Like I know some people at a place were like, oh my god. Yeah. Mike, even when you're younger, Jersey, Maine, like what? Any fond memories?
No.
Are you serious? Not at all.
I mean, in Maine, like my closest neighbor was 2 miles away. There was no trick or treating.
Like, did they hand out like lobsters in Maine?
Yeah, it was like lobster rolls mostly. Yeah. No, I mean Halloween wasn't really a thing for me. Like once I was in like high school, or probably even before that, like Halloween just ceased to be an event.
Are we gonna have to take Mike on a Halloween adventure?
Yeah, I
this
think
year?
so.
No, like I loved Halloween as like a younger adult, when we would go to the parties that you hated and like go to bars in costume. I like that. And then when,
wait, are you directing that to me? The parties I hated?
well, just like, I mean, you were mentioning that you didn't want to go to the party on the snowy night.
I did not.
No, and I mean, I don't blame you, but like I probably would have gone to that party. But yeah, like, I don't know, like the drunken costumed adult activities I enjoyed. But then like you age out of that, I guess, and now I just sit in my house.
Yeah, Mike and I would often go to like random bars. Like, I wouldn't say like random. We would go to bars that like very much heavily focused on Halloween. Like they would turn in basically to like a
Halloween
club party.
Right? And typically like places where we knew at least a couple of the staff, so it was kind of like a more
Rami was
comfortable
one
place.
of those staff.
Rami was one of those staff.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
worked some real fun
Yeah,
Halloweens.
I guess I should have said, like, I didn't feel safe at that bar in particular.
Well, Rami, do you care if I say the bar you did work at?
It doesn't exist anymore.
It does not exist.
So do you care?
No.
Rami was working at the Rock Bar, And this is one of my favorite Halloween moments. Guest Emily was with us. It was me, Mike, Emily. I believe our friend Mary was with us.
That sounds right.
I think that's right.
Yeah, and there was a line out the door. Like, we were at one bar, and we knew Rami was working at the Rock Bar, and we're like, let's go see him. And our plan was to literally go there. And that was totally like a crazy dance party. And it was kind of crappy outside, but not super crappy. And so we're all in costume, and everyone's there. And there's a hotel connected to the Rock Bar for all of you listening. This is off Colfax, no longer in existence. But look it up. There's a lot of fun stories about the Rock Bar in Denver, Colorado.
Don't look it up.
You should totally look it up. I eventually just had to use the restroom. And I was like, oh my God, we're never getting in this bar. And like, we were outside for, I would say, a good 40 minutes. And we're like, oh my God. And we're like, there was like really no hope in sight. So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to go through the hotel and use the restroom. If someone says anything, I'll leave after I use the restroom. And so I walked in and someone's like, hey, what are you doing? And it was Rami's friend. We're going to say Zach, because I like Zach and maybe he'll listen to an episode. And he's like, oh, what are you doing here? And I was like, I need to use the restroom. He's like, go right on ahead. And then I'm texting Emily, like, you should just come in through this door. She's like, I don't think I should do that. I was like, for the love of God, go through the door, because I'm not going back out it. And she took Mike and she's like, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm in a club now. And so we bypassed like 100 people in a line. It was great because then we started. Then we started buying the bouncers, one of them in this room, drinks. So
win-win.
Yeah, everyone was happy, and we danced, and it was a fun Halloween.
Yeah. Nice. Speaking of Mary, did I tell you I ran into Mary the other day?
No.
Yeah.
Holy crap!
Yeah.
Wow.
How's she doing?
She's good.
I
was at the Celtic with superfan Hillary, and Mary was there to take a ghost tour.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I hope Mary listens to us at some point in time.
Did you guys ever go to like haunted houses as
like
a
kid?
Yeah. Like as in the teens when you were in like high school, like the fucking.
Well, I think with you, Jeremy, I've been to a couple, and like Six Flags when I lived in Missouri, like totally ran stuff like that. So Jeremy and I were definitely there. Mike and I were at one as an adult.
Yeah, we went to the 13th floor.
Oh yeah, I saw that advertised on Facebook the other day.
I've only been to it that one time. It totally sucked. Like, I mean, it was so fucking packed. Like they were pushing people through so quickly. Like the actors in the rooms didn't have time to reset.
Yeah.
So like Paul and I would walk into a room and like the guy
was like going back in the corner.
He's like getting back into the bathtub. He's like, okay, so you guys know already. Just keep going.
That's amazing.
The thing I do not like about haunted houses is
the touching.
That's going to be part 2, and I'll open that up. But I don't like the strobe lights. It makes me like super tired. It just like, I don't mind like a strobe light here and there in the distance, but when you're in like a haunted house room and they like stop you and you're in a room with a strobe light like just going for 3 minutes, it's like. It's just draining and it just kind of blinds me. And then when I go for the rest of the haunted house, I'm like, I can't see anything. I'm like, everything's scary because I can't see anything.
Yeah, that's how they get you. They blind you, and it's like, no, it's scary. Trust us. You know?
Yeah, so my wife's from Detroit, and we were visiting during a Halloween once, and they were like, her dad was like, there's this haunted house and like no one's been to the top and you have to go to all these like different floors, and if you like go to the top, like they'll like write you up in the newspaper, you get your money back. And I was like, let's do it. I was like super serious about this, but then the side part is like they could touch you and grab you and hold you. I was like, absolutely not. Like
hard pass.
Yeah, I was like, oh my God. Like just out of like instinct alone, you think you would like fight back. And that's, I think, part of the contract. Like you can't like hit or fight back. I'm like, oh my God, no. Like, of course I'm never getting to the top. Someone's going to put me in a sack. Nobody
puts baby in a sack.
Right, and I just signed a contract that I can't do anything. Yeah, that was kind of a bummer. But yeah, the place Mike and I went to, they were a little touchy too. Like they were kind of pushing us along, and I didn't really like that. I was like, it was just weird.
I don't know. I've heard good things about it. I work with a guy who's a huge like Halloween horror fan guy, and he goes every year and he loves it. And when I described what we experienced, he's like, I have not seen that. So maybe we're on an off night or a bad year or something.
I mean,
I'm never going to go back, but
I am also sure, like, we are the worst demographic. Like we roll up and people are like, "Oh God,
Right, like
here we go."
cynical asshole 30-year-olds or whatever.
Right, but like I've always taken it nice, and I have never messed with like any employee or anything. My wife and I, when we first started dating, we went to this like really small one. I don't even remember where we're at. It was like off Colorado Boulevard. It was like a warehouse, and we got there, and there was like no one else there.
That wasn't. Oh, that was.
Well, there was like no other customers.
That
So I was
haunted
like,
house died 50 years ago.
well, I'll tell you on the way out. It's funny because like people came out and like did stuff and like tried to scare us, and we're like, okay, and it wasn't really scary. And at the end, some guy was like ran up. He was like with the chainsaw, and he's like, hey. When we're not doing this, we're a paintball place. Check us out. And he gave me a coupon. I was like, oh.
That's awesome.
All right.
Oh yeah, you gotta advertise for the future.
Yeah.
Sure. I was like, oh, okay.
Did he make the chainsaw noise with his mouth like you did?
That's what I thought he did.
Paintball.
He did not.
Paintball.
He did not. Yeah. Any other fun Halloween memories for anyone? I just love Halloween. I mean, for me, Halloween was always like this time of freedom. Like it was like my parents like seriously being like, damn it, you better not mess this up. But you could go out and get candy. I was like, all right.
No.
There's a deal for candy. And I didn't like do anything crazy.
Halloween means nothing to me now, and it didn't then either.
That's so sad, Mike.
Cool. Way
Sure.
to get it into the spirit.
Yeah.
All right.
No, I don't know.
Welcome
Like,
to our
it's,
third year Halloween Spooktacular.
it's like it's my least favorite holiday.
Halloween is your least favorite holiday?
Well, I mean, like I
Arbor
get,
Day,
yeah, I'll
Boxing
place it above like Valentine's Day or whatever. But like I don't know,
You put above President's Day.
Cabrini Day.
Cabrini Day, dude. Cabrini Day fucking slaps. Okay,
That's how they get you at the Cabrini Day.
I don't know.
You said it earlier. Halloween just seems to, especially here in Denver, just there's bad weather, so it's kind of hard to get a good night going out with friends when you're younger. And I think most of my nights when I was younger were snowy nights, so either trick-or-treating was cut in half or it didn't happen at all. And I remember a lot of those nights when I was growing up, there was no trick-or-treating.
Right.
But one of those nights was pretty cool. Like my friend's bigger brother, he had a car, and we were like, 11, 12, maybe even less. We'd all just got in the car and drove around town in the snow. That was pretty cool.
That's kind of awesome.
No trick-or-treating, but we were looking at just people just fucking around. And one of my friends had a costume, but he didn't get out. Well, none of us got out. We were just driving around for maybe an hour. I thought that was cool. This night was pretty fun to drive around in the snow.
Unfortunately, Lamar, you didn't like join Mike and I when we would go to like, I don't want to say clubs, but it was like bars that basically turned into clubs just for Halloween.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I was like primarily like just like sometimes like these bars would have DJs or various other things. Like the Rock Bar definitely had DJs, but yeah, the weather was crappy. But like, I'm just gonna level with you. Everyone got into the club and they're like, "Holy crap, I'm really hot." And then everyone started just basically taking off clothes, and it was just like a sexy dance party. And that was pretty much every Halloween.
There you go.
Now you're describing what I used to like about Halloween.
There you go.
And then, like, you know, this time of year, Facebook is like, hey, you have memories to look back on. It's like, oh, that was fun. And now I'm in my house by myself, and this fucking blows.
Staring at those memories.
Right, yeah, exactly. Like, oh, cool. I can't do that anymore.
You can just buy a full pack of full-size candy bars and relive those memories through diabetic shock.
Yeah, well, that's what I do because no one comes to my fucking house.
I'm in a
'Cause it's
diabetic
scary
haze.
Oh, you were talking about the Paul, the hotel that hosted Rock Bar.
Mm-hmm.
Rock Bar's long gone, but that hotel is being remodeled.
Yeah.
The All In.
All in.
You know,
It's called the All In.
Well,
called
Yeah,
the
it's
All
a
In.
gambling.
And it's coming back, baby.
That's amazing.
nothing could erase the shame that comes from that bar
It really
or that
can.
hotel.
No.
You were right both ways.
Yeah.
Yeah, all of it. The urine, the drugs, the shame.
The urine's still there.
Yeah.
No, I'm saying
that
like
never
it's all
goes away.
caked in.
Yeah.
Like the drugs are still in the walls and the carpet.
It's
the wood.
load-bearing urine.
I believe it.
Yeah, you better.
That's the best kind of urine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I just love Halloween. People are dressing up. I
Yeah.
think dressing up's cool. Kids love candy.
I'm from here, just like Lamar. So my Halloweens as a kid were hit and miss. The weather was never good. I swear it always snowed on Halloween when I was a kid.
Yeah.
But as an adult, I had some fun working at that club. That was
Yeah.
kind of cool. Every Halloween was like our busiest night.
Yeah, that's all I'm saying.
A lot of people came down, had a great time. It did suck to be working,
Sure.
but hey.
Yeah.
So along those lines, who's with me? Not tonight, but let's put on the costumes. Let's go out to a club.
All right. You're saying like outside of Halloween. Let's just like.
No, like for Halloween.
for Thanksgiving.
Yeah, like-
put on some
Right.
costumes and get out to the club, man.
It's what is it? Veterans Day soon. Let's do that.
Yeah.
I thought you meant just like on a random Monday.
No, I mean for like the week of Halloween. Not because Halloween's like what is it? Wednesday or
Thursday,
something?
yeah.
Thursday. Yeah, fuck that. Like that weekend.
I'm picturing like an Always Sunny situation with the costumes.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm talking about. See, no one's in for this. No one wants to go with me.
I'm an old man. I don't go out.
The sad things too, not to put in the sad approach, not to put it in the Mike perspective.
Yeah,
of Halloween.
let's avoid my.
But there was moments where Mike and I would go to like the fun clubs, and then we'd be like, let's just have like a nightcap like closer to our neighborhood, and we'd go to our neighborhood bar, and Mike and I would like still be in costume and stuff, and then no one would be in costume at this bar, and people would just look at us like, why are you even like dressed up? I'm like, oh,
Right.
probably because it's Halloween, but like whatever.
Who
And Mike
are
and I
you
were never in
people?
like extreme costumes. We're just like, oh, like no one's even gonna attempt this. Cool, like dude.
Yeah.
That was always like a sour note. Like if that ever happened, we're like, okay, well let's just drink this really quick and go to bed. Okay, bye. Yeah, but hit up the clubs.
Your idea is interesting, Mike.
Yeah, I mean, I'd do it. We just get a bunch of Macho Man jackets and just walk around town.
Yeah, the one with the penis on the back of it from the Hulk Hogan movie.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, we should probably get into this movie.
Oh, is there a movie?
There's not.
No,
Okay.
this is just
It's-
us.
This is
Yeah.
just
Well,
Halloween talk.
They also say on Halloween, the veil is the thinnest, and the dead could walk the earth on this one day. And you know what? I have a bunch of people I need to talk to who are dead, so welcome aboard, Halloween. So I'd like to talk to you. But today I'm going to talk to you about The Frighteners, 1996. Yeah, this movie is super weird. I think Collin and I are going to have similar approaches. And I say this only because Collin said a couple things as we were watching this film. And Colin's like, I haven't seen this movie in like 15 or 20 years. And I'm like, nor have I. Maybe not all of it. I feel I've seen clips of it. I just don't remember like the last time I've really sat down and watched this movie.
I'm surprised. I watch this movie every couple of years.
I like it. Like, and the weirdness isn't like me poo-pooing on it. It's just like a lot of things happen in this movie. Like it starts off like almost more comedic, and then it gets kind of super serious. And Peter Jackson has some kind of Peter Jackson vibes going through this. Michael J. Fox is just kind of a much different person. I don't really recognize many people in this film. It's just kind of weird. Like this film is just weird. Like I don't know what else to say. And then you get like weird cameos that I definitely wouldn't expect. Yeah, but it's not a bad thing. It's just I really have no comparable movie to this. Like this is like weird, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's not. I think it's a fine movie, but yeah, there's you can definitely tell that there's some Peter Jackson involved in here.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing, and I think it's his influence. Like you watch Dead Alive, and you watch this, and you're like, I could see kind of some connections.
Peter Jackson likes weird close-ups of people's faces.
Yeah,
Just like that's his thing.
He's
right
also
there.
like gruesome. There's moments in Lord of the Rings. Like I always remember like one scene. Maybe it's the Two Towers. Maybe it's Return of the King. It's definitely not the first one. They're going through these marshes, and they're in like Gollum's like these are like the fallen soldiers and the dead. Do you guys remember this? Mm-hmm. And then like Frodo's walking around and he like falls into a pond, and it's like these crazy decaying dead skeletal bodies. And I'm like, oh my god, like. Peter Jackson like does weird things like that where it's like really gruesome, but like a shade dialed back from rated R. You're just like, oh my god, like get the hell out of here. Like it's the closest thing you're gonna see to a demon that's not rated R. And I mean props to him. Like it's scary as hell, but he's not trying to make like a horror film. And this movie I don't know if I would say is a horror film.
It has horror elements
Yeah,
to it.
yeah, totally.
It's like a supernatural kind of mystery thriller, I guess.
What is the rating on this movie?
Yeah, that's a good question.
I think it's PG-13.
That
Yeah.
makes sense. I mean, there's nothing like really R-ish in there, except for like a couple people getting their heads blown off.
But
It is
There's
rated
like-
R.
Okay.
Wow.
it's rated R.
Yeah.
Well, there's like the melting ghosts and stuff too.
Yeah. I just like thematically, it's pretty dark.
It
Yeah.
goes
Yeah.
to what Paul said. He comes close to getting R without going there, but I guess
Yeah.
obviously he went there. But it doesn't. It
Doesn't seem like it.
No,
It
it doesn't
doesn't
feel
feel
like it at all.
To be fair, there's a ton of murder.
It is quite murder heavy.
Okay,
Yeah,
so,
so-
its theme.
So
is
like
R.
I think we're also describing the weirdness. Like this movie, like almost. Like, I agree with Mike. Like it almost shouldn't be rated
Yeah,
R.
I mean, I don't think really any profanity.
No.
There's
no,
some shits.
a couple shits.
You
There's
know,
nothing like
I don't think there was any F words.
nothing
was
crazy.
there?
No.
No. Yeah, maybe it's just like a lot of carving into people's heads, but you don't see it,
Yeah.
and it sounds gruesome.
Nah, it's fine.
I don't. Oh, yeah. Honestly, like maybe after this episode, we'll look something up. Like I am curious about the rating system on this because that is also making me think why a lot of people didn't see this, and this kind of fits our bill. Like there's a lot of high profile people in this movie. But this isn't like I feel anyone's go-to when they're like, oh, Peter Jackson, the director of The Frighteners. Like, no one's saying that. Or, oh, Michael J. Fox, Back to the Future and The Frighteners. Like, it's not like you just... This movie is like kind of lost. And maybe that's it. That it's... A lot of people didn't see it because it's rated R. And then people who saw it that wanted a rated R movie was like, it's not rated R enough in areas. It's not comedic enough or it's not dramatic enough. I like it for all these reasons. I feel it's a unique film that kind of showcases, as Jeremy noted, horror elements. There's comedic moments. There's drama. There's a story that's threaded through. My only complaint is I think this movie could be dialed back by about 20 minutes. It's an hour. It's an hour and 50. Like so, it's like just shy of 2 hours. I do feel about 20 minutes could be trimmed off pretty easy.
Okay.
There's an entire character in this movie.
I wouldn't cut him, Jeremy.
that is completely necessary. He's not even necessary.
I wouldn't cut him.
I don't know. There's a scene at the end that makes him where he just totally exposes himself as being super crazy that I am into.
I like the
time.
person you're talking about. I found a piece of trivia about the rating. It was originally made to be rated PG-13. The MPAA thought it was too intense and gave it an R, and Peter Jackson kept trying to like edit it down. But they did not budge, citing some reasons like a door was shot by a shotgun too many times.
Yeah.
So eventually
That's accurate.
Jackson was just like, you know what, fuck you guys, R, fine.
It was too many times.
Yeah.
There's a lot of doors out there. That
Aim
get
for a
nervous
lock
around
for the love of
shotguns.
God.
Yeah.
That's super bizarre.
Yeah.
He lost a lot of audience, I'm guessing, off of that.
Well, yeah, I mean, we've talked about this before in other movies, like when the rating kind of takes the movie away from its target demographic, and that could very well be the case here.
Yeah, that's super weird.
Yeah. Too many times. Shotgun.
Well, this whole movie starts off with a haunting. We don't really know what's going on. There's this old woman. She's yelling at a younger woman. Oh my God, he's back. You're possessed. You know.
The normal stuff.
Yeah, like the evil's here. Like we got to prepare. She's freaking out, and the movie starts. You don't really know.
Well,
what's
and
going
you
on.
see like things crawling through a thing crawling through
Yeah,
the
the
walls.
wallpaper thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wallpaper goblins.
How do you feel the CG has held up over these years?
It's Lawnmower Man level of
it's-
CG. I mean, at the time, like Weta Workshop doing its thing. But, I mean, this is 1996.
I cannot fault the movie by any means, but that is going to be for me the roughest part of this movie. That's more like if you have not seen this movie, you should be prepared that you're going to see 1996 computer graphics.
I think the wallpaper effect actually stands the test of time. It's still solid, not the greatest, but everything else around it, no.
I'm kind of with Lamar on this one. Like, when the wallpaper thing isn't interacting with a person, I think it looks pretty good.
Yeah.
And I think the ghosts look pretty dope.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
the ghost obviously.
Like
yeah.
when the painting tries to grab someone, that's where it gets a little iffy. And there's some scenes later that are like real gnarly.
Yeah,
But like a lot of it is done really well.
I agree with you. Mike really highlights a good example, Lawnmower Man. That like when you see like, so basically it's supposed to be like a ghost is moving through the floor, the carpets, and when you see these bumps moving, I agree, like over the wallpaper, that does not look bad. But the moment you see a live action actor, you're like, woof. And again, that's not like a diss to Peter Jackson. This is the limited technology. This movie's, again, 1996. We're looking 30 years ago, so come on.
He's clearly caught up in this special effects category with Lord of the Rings.
You could 100% tell the difference between the scenes where it was just the CG, like just CGI, and the ones where they were interacting with a live actor, because it just did not work that well.
Yeah, 100%.
That was just the tech of the...
That was a problem with a lot of movies in the 90s. We can go up and down the charts.
What I'm hearing is it's time for a Frighteners remake.
Nice.
There we go.
I would be okay with that, to be honest.
Yeah.
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 I think this movie could be remade in a pretty fun way.
You
Like,
could
with contemporary technology.
You could get Michael J. Fox, and it'll be 2.5 hours.
Oh God.
Well, they're gonna need a whole lot more. Yeah, new technology there.
That's right. We gotta move on from here.
Let's move past it.
Welcome to Fairwater.
We're big MJF fans. Welcome to Fairwater.
Yeah, so apparently in this town of Fairwater, which everything was filmed in New Zealand, but we're supposed to be in America. In this town of Fairwater, the death toll is up, and it's just been rising. And people are like, it's on the news. People are like, what's going on? And all these like heart conditions are happening.
Yeah, healthy people having heart attacks.
The death toll is up and the stock market's down.
Yeah, well, now you got some problems. And we're introduced to Frank. Frank is at a funeral. Frank is Michael J. Fox. He's handing out some cards. People are like, get the hell out of here. You don't really know what it's all about. So I'm going to cut to the chase a little bit. Frank goes to funerals, and much like a stereotypical lawyer joke, like, oh, they're all ambulance chasers, that's essentially what Frank is doing. He goes to funerals and he's like, I could communicate with the dead. Maybe you need some help. They're like, get out of here, buddy. But he's like known about town. My only problem with this premise in this movie, it just seems like it's a really small town.
Yeah.
Like, it just doesn't seem like people are dying. Like, now in the movie, yes. Like, there's a death toll going up and he's approaching them. But, like, what has he been doing, beforehand?
Not making car payments, I'll tell you that.
Yeah. Not working on his house?
Yeah, not working on his house. I mean,
I know what he's not been doing.
I didn't get a small town. I didn't get a small town feel from this movie the same way I did with a John Carpenter film or who else does it? A Stephen King film. This one, I didn't feel like it was a small town.
Well, it's not like small town, like super, like hundreds of people.
Yeah, I know.
It just doesn't seem just like, because like the exterior shots, it just seems like really beautiful. The houses are kind of spaced out. There's like an ocean. Mm-hmm. It just seems like someone's not dying every day. Like, you just couldn't make a business. Like, you're not in like New York.
Well, it's clearly pretty wealthy though too. So maybe he really just needs to get a couple a year to call it good.
Yeah,
he's getting like $250 a pop for this.
Well, 450.
Well, after the extras, you got to pay for materials.
Yeah,
$350.
but still, man. I mean, yeah, that was a big house. Like, you're gonna need to up your game if you're gonna build that house, dude.
Well, he might not just be doing this at funerals. He might be like. Because effectively,
like at bar mitzvahs?
Yeah, well, he's effectively like extorting people. So maybe he's got, he's extorting just random people. He doesn't.
Yeah, well, he's ghostbusting and just like going door to door. You're right.
Yeah, like, I mean, we see him at the funerals because people are dying, but like he might be just doing this.
Just haunting people.
He's at Timmy's birthday, like communicating with his dead grandma.
Right? Yeah,
like that's $75 right there.
All I could really say is, a ghost came up, rang my doorbell. It was like, I need $350. Like $350. And you know what I did? I paid that ghost. Mm-hmm. And that's why he keeps coming back. $350.
About $350.
About $350.
$350.
Didn't ask for a dime.
But yeah, I mean that's really what we see. We meet Frank at this funeral. That's all we really know. We get to meet Patricia again. She is living with this noted old lady. They're the Bradleys. We don't really know much, but that's who we saw at the beginning. And then we get to see Frank run off the road one of many times.
Oh, yeah.
If this was Cliffhanger, so throwback to our episode of Cliffhanger, Stallone, old Sly, we had a little drinking game about every time someone said, damn it. If every time Michael J. Fox ran off the road,
or was driving recklessly,
you would be drunk quickly.
Oh. Yeah. We wouldn't be doing this podcast. Right?
Yeah, we would be asleep.
Yeah.
We'd be recording this at like 3 a.m. like, hey, everybody.
That's the other thing. Like, there's no explanation for why he drives like he does in the movie. Like, it's just like accepted.
He doesn't
Just
care.
a bad driver.
Yeah.
I totally agree. So, Colin, let me ask you this question. The driving is something that made me think of this. Every now and then when we were watching this movie, Colin's like, I didn't really remember this. I haven't seen this in ages. And I don't mean that as a bad thing. Colin, I don't remember the driving is a good example. I don't remember this movie just being like this zany. Does that kind of make sense to you?
Yeah, I mean, it definitely didn't. I definitely don't remember the car part. I don't think he drove well once.
Yeah, like,
No, not at all.
What the hell?
Like,
It was a menace.
yeah. I mean, and there, the driving was so bad that you would think that there would be an explanation for it. Like, I don't know.
Right. So, okay, I will note this, and I'm going to spoil this. I mean, because we could dissect this movie in many ways. There is going to be a flashback, and we see, and this is noted in part of the summary I read, that through a car accident, and he does drive off the road, unfortunately his wife is killed. We do find out a little more about that throughout, but the gist is there. Later in the movie, he has a similar car accident, which does make sense, because he's like basically given a flashback. We see that accident, and he basically does it again. That makes sense, those two for me. Beyond that, it's like Roger Rabbit is driving the car.
Yeah,
what the hell?
Well, it's implied that in the first, like the original accident in the flashback, that he was drunk, right?
Yeah, or just angry. They're in some like dispute. Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Well, yeah, because she was like, he was drinking in the morning when she's describing it. Maybe, and we don't see it, maybe he's just drunk the entire movie.
He honestly was like the old people in that old people episode of South Park, where the car is just menacing everyone everywhere.
Driving upstairs.
You know, those old people came to my house and asked for $350. Yeah, so that's that. So, in one of many incidences, Frank goes off-roading and he drives through Ray. We meet Ray.
He ruptures his lawn, which is an odd way to phrase it, but there we are.
And maybe we'll get this movie at some point in time. Shout out to former guest Sarah, who's been on the show, as I mentioned in The Hard Way, that I love Doc Hollywood, and this is how Michael J. Fox gets into trouble. He Doc Hollywoods himself by running off the road like he does in Doc Hollywood and running through someone's fence and that person freaking out.
Wow.
And now he is indebted to that person. In this instance, Ray wants money. You're going to pay for all this. And he gives him his card. And he's like, oh, you're a paranormal psychic? Fantastic.
Yeah, well,
Who isn't these days?
the script gets flipped on him because he ends up giving him more money.
Flip dip Fantasia.
Yeah, it is the dip trip flip Fantasia. Some cantaloupe. Yeah. You kind of see a flashback to some murderings happening, and like a serial killer that's being compared to other serial killers. Kind of setting the scene that there's.
Speaking of serial
there's
killers,
a killer.
Mike's notes look like Kevin Spacey's fucking notes from the serial from Seven, man.
My handwriting is atrocious. It's worse in the dark. I don't know why I'm holding this in front of me. I can't read any of this.
Well,
It's like a
basically,
manifesto over here.
basically, from the summary we noted, they highlighted that Frank's this con man, so he's going to use his conning skills. And all of a sudden, Ray's house is now wildly haunted. And somehow his wife Lucy has Frank's card, so she freaks out because things are moving, glasses are shifting, things are flying around the house, and they're like, "Oh my god!" And she calls this Frank fella, who is Michael J. Fox, and he comes right over, and he, gives them an estimate. You've got this kind of specter and this kind of situation, and luckily I could just make all this go away with just calling it even with that fence. And the guy's like, "Oh my god." And I feel for Ray in this. Ray's a real piece of shit, but I do feel for him in this because he's like, just get on with it, con man. Like, oh my god.
Is Ray a piece of shit?
I think Ray's a piece of shit.
He kind of sucks.
I mean, he was upset for someone running into his yard.
Oh, no. I don't mean at Frank. I just mean I think Ray's kind of a piece of shit out. So, like, he seems like a real piece of crap husband and, like, stuff like that.
Maybe. We only see him angry, but to be fair, every time we see him, something shitty is happening.
He lost
to him.
all his
true.
wife's money.
Yeah.
He has secrets.
Oh, that's true. He did. He did do that.
That's what I'm saying. Like, his problems with Frank are 100% valid. It
Right,
just seems
yeah.
like Ray's kind of crappy in real life.
Just the way that he reacted when the house started going haywire, and she identified it as a poltergeist right away. That's kind of
She
odd.
knew.
Yeah.
But his reactions to all of that was just kind of...
Lucy is a ghost.
Ray was always working out, but never working. He's just
that's
hanging
true.
out at the house.
Well, I like that
Man.
Michael J. Fox slips in like, we'll call it even, but I need an extra $100 for expenses. Too.
Yeah, can't go out of pocket for
Yeah.
this.
So he exercises the ghosts, even though the ghosts weren't performing up to snuff.
Using like some weird radio.
Yeah.
I like the gadgets in this movie.
Yeah.
Like some of the stuff that's used is fun.
Yeah, he catches the ghosts in like an old radio, and then they're captured in like a Tide Pod that he puts in the garbage disposal or whatever the fuck that
It's
was.
like a gift bag.
Yeah.
Well, Michael J. Fox goes back to his somewhat unfinished house, which is kind of a mystery that's revealed kind of throughout. And he is pissed off with his ghost friends, Cyrus and Stuart. He's like, oh my God, guys, like you left me in the dark. Like things should have been, like toilets should have been opening. Beds are supposed to be doing this and that. And they're like, whatever, dude.
Like, yeah, fuck this.
And they're kind of
Fuck this
deteriorating. They're weird looking ghosts.
Yeah.
They're blue. They're transparent. I do agree with what you guys said. That I think the ghosts all look pretty good.
Yeah.
And again, anything like we're noting about the like outdated stuff it's just because it's outdated. It wasn't like shoddy work by Peter Jackson or anyone involved. Just like again, 30 years ago.
Yeah.
There's one thing I will throw out here, and that is that I do understand why it's rated R. I mean, a man gets shot in the face in this scene. Like,
Yeah, that happens a lot, actually.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah, but sometimes it's just fun times.
Yeah. It's a jovial, friendly face.
There's multiple
Just a good
shootings. Perfect.
Yeah.
it's just ghosts goofing.
Yeah. It was what the judge shot Stewart in the face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The judge does a lot of shooting. In
So,
this.
well, let's introduce the judge. So we've got three people going on. We've got Cyrus, who died in the 70s. We have Stewart, who seems like a bookworm from the 50s. And we got the judge, who's like Old West.
Yeah, like Wyatt
old
Earp or
miner
something.
or
Yeah.
some shit.
I love the judge.
With his old dog.
I love Cyrus.
Yeah.
He's my favorite. I love that actor as well. Chi McBride. I don't know how you say his first name.
Key.
Is it Key?
No, I'm just kidding. I don't know.
He's like the wise chef in Waiting, and he's also in Gone in 60 Seconds. Neither of which are good movies, but they're both fun. I like this actor a lot.
Yeah.
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 Super fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the judge is all crazy. But yeah, they clearly got some scams going on.
The judge's intro is him comes in blasting. I think you gotta like that.
So anyway,
Yeah. The dog is chewing on a jaw, and you gotta wonder where it came from.
That's true, because the jaw is dead too, isn't it? He's just chewing. But we find out
it was the judge.
it was the judge's jaw.
Well, very soon after we meet the crew, Ray dies on a rowing machine.
Aw,
Yeah.
Yeah.
He didn't get enough vitamins. Or
no.
Yeah, so he's a ghost, and now Ray is just kind of a pathetic ghost. And this is where we learn more about Ray.
Well, can I rewind for 1 second? When Michael J. Fox is doing the exorcism with the Tide Pod in the house, he sees that Ray has the number 37
Yeah, that's right.
carved on his forehead, and he doesn't say anything about it. But he's like,
He does say this to the ghost, though.
he says it to the ghost, yeah, but he doesn't say anything to Ray or to what's her name.
No, good call, because there is some foreshadowing, and when he's scolding the ghost for
Yeah.
doing a
Like, who
poor
put the
job,
37 on
they're like,
there?
yeah, like a really weird thing to do to like carve a number in someone's head, and they're like, yeah, I don't know what you're talking about.
Wasn't us.
But yeah, but Ray's super. Wait, what is he not going to do, Mike? It's a Halloween spooktacular.
He's not getting up from that.
No, he is not.
From his rowing.
Yeah, dude, have you ever been on a rowing machine?
I have, yeah.
That's hard, man.
I hate to say it, but he does get up from that.
Well,
Well,
his,
not
in a
alive.
spiritual way.
his mortal coil does not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
His mortal coil.
And this is where we find out more about him. Like, he's just not really a good guy.
Yeah. I mean, anyone can lose 16 grand on a shitty investment.
Or a stripper.
Or a strip. Was it a stripper?
No, it was an investment.
Okay.
It was a stripper.
That was the stripper's name.
This is investment.
On the blue stage.
So immediately Ray goes to the funeral and starts, checking things out. But he's not handing out cards. The Sheriff Walt rolls up and is like, the FBI's in town. They're really concerned about all these people dying. Like, do you know anything about this? And this is after he has talked to Ray, and that is Frank. And Frank is doing some Frank stuff in a grave. But eventually Frank helps Ray out of this, and the sheriff is kind of curious, but the sheriff's really nice. The sheriff does not believe anywhere throughout this movie that Frank is the killer or that he could kill all these people. He is, I don't know, like, suspect of Frank in ways, but he does not believe he is the murderer.
Yeah, he thinks Frank is weird and maybe up to something that he's not disclosing, but he doesn't think he's a murderer.
Right.
Yeah.
But immediately Frank super vibes up on Lucy. They immediately start a connection.
Yeah.
And
real quick, too. Husband's dead. Boom.
And they want to go on kind of a date with the dead husband. He's like, I could communicate. So he's like, I'm going to bring the spirit of Ray with me. And they go on this date. And this is where we find out where she's more concerned, like, I'm going through all the audits and the lawyers. Like, I'm missing $16,000.
Also, can we talk about where they go out on the date?
Yeah.
We discussed this while watching it.
Yeah, well, let me finish this. So this is where we find out, just like, I'm sorry, not Frank. Ray is just shitty, and Frank's like, I'm gonna tell her everything, and you could see Ray's like, no, I'm moving back in. I'm gonna take care of her. Say I'm gonna take care of her, baby. He's like, dude, you're dead. Like, it's over. And this is where we find out, like, they're kind of helpless, but there's a kind of little spark between Frank and Lucy. But now, let's talk about the restaurant that they're in.
So you mentioned, and I agree with this 100%, that, like, when you watched this previously, Colin, I think you said the same thing, like, this didn't seem weird to you. And I agree.
Yeah, me too.
But, like, watching it now, it 100% seemed weird because they're effectively on a date in, like, a medieval times.
Yeah, all the waiters are dressed like knights.
Yeah, it's like there's no jousting.
Yeah.
But they're, like, in a castle, like, a minor lord brings them their appetizer. It's really fucking weird.
For sure, 100%. This is what New Zealanders think is fancy.
Yeah, absolutely.
So this is New
Hello,
Zealand.
my love.
This is New
This
Zealand
is
medieval
great
times.
clam chowder.
Mike, muesli, sir. And then you'll have muesli.
Oh, that's a baked Alaska. You wouldn't want that.
That's baked muesli, sir.
And the part that makes it funny to me is that it wasn't even like a point of the movie.
Well,
like,
also,
it's just background.
no one
a fucking normal restaurant.
no one mentions it. Like, if you're Lucy, you're like, why the fuck are we at a castle? Like, I want to talk about my dead husband. No, it's just everyone's like, yeah, this is where we have dinner at this
You know
castle.
what?
This
It's
is where we would go.
Yeah.
We barely noticed it. So I'm just thinking, if we just moved past it, would we have even noticed it?
Everybody has just
I don't know.
but not today.
Maybe Paul was right. Maybe this is a small town. There's like 2 restaurants. One of them is this weird theme, and so everyone is used to it.
Yeah. It's gotta be.
Mike, the manager Bevan starts to abuse me.
Hey man, I just want my muesli.
Yeah, I don't. Viewers, go and watch that. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know what the hell's going on. Everyone's dressed like a knight. I don't know what to
No,
tell
it's
you.
weird. Oh, also, this was a little bit ago, but I feel like we should bring it up. Director cameo. You see Peter Jackson.
Oh yes.
He gets bumped into by Michael J.
Yeah.
Fox.
And then,
have
what will Peter Jackson have?
I don't know.
Oh, the bathroom.
Bathroom.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we got a bath. So Frank goes to the bathroom, and he is now seeing a cloaked figure jump around. Very Voldemort-esque. Like, that's what I would kind of know. Like, in the first Harry Potter, there's like a cloaked figure like dashing into the woods and stuff. Like, it's very similar. Like, I don't mean that as a bad thing. Like, that's kind of comparable.
No. I mean, this actually looks kind of decent, mostly because it happens when it's dark out.
Yeah, and it's quick. So
Yeah.
you just see like a Grim Reaper like floating around.
Yeah.
And some dude gets offed in the bathroom.
Yeah, Frank sees that he has a 38 on his forehead.
And he's just like, this
Yeah,
Grim Reaper
he
basically comes out of a
gets
mirror,
heart attack.
grabs his heart, and that dude's dead.
Yeah.
So Frank takes off, as one would, and he is just going around looking for this cloaked thing every which way.
The police kind of take Lucy into custody. I think
you could say custody.
Into custody, yeah. Not like as a suspect, I think, just more like you were here, what the fuck happened.
They called her a material witness.
Material witness, there you go.
Well, how many
thank you for the
types of
jargon.
witnesses do we have in the judicial system?
I don't know.
There's
Rami?
expert
We just have the one?
Just the one. No.
There's expert witnesses. There's material witnesses. Are there
Hostile?
any- Hostile
You could be a
witnesses.
hostile witness,
All
right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I don't know.
There you go.
I want to note something about Lucy here. So Lucy is played by Trini Alvarado.
She looks super familiar.
You know who she reminds me? I have a note here. I think she's very pretty.
Yeah.
She looks like a young Bebe Newirth. That is
sort of.
Lilith from Cheers.
Well, yeah, she's like low-rent Andy McDowell and not Baby Newworth.
Yeah, so it's like a combo.
Yeah.
It's complimentary. I've just
Yeah.
never seen this woman. I was like, oh.
Well,
I thought it was what's her name? Yeah. What Mike
Andy
just said.
McDowell. Yeah.
McDowell, who I
the-
fucking hate.
Could have for the longest time, yeah.
We also meet, now that she's being treated as a material witness, we meet fucking
Oh boy.
Milton.
Yeah.
So we get FBI agent Milton in here.
Yeah.
This is what Jeremy argues is a somewhat unnecessary character. I'm going to argue my favorite character.
He's a good character. He's the most interesting character.
Yeah.
So me, Rami, Lamar, and Mike watched a movie recently, From Beyond, which is like based on like Lovecraftian works. And he was one of the leads in it, and he was kind of a big weirdo in it. I'd revisit that movie at some point in time.
Feeling he just
Yeah.
plays big weirdos in a lot of these movies.
It seems like
Exactly
it,
what I said.
right on
Yeah.
the thing.
seems like it'd be a lot of
good
fun.
fit. Apparently, the weird Hitler haircut was his idea.
Sure.
He's like, this. I got to do this because it's
Wow.
because spoiler, he has a weird Hitler haircut.
Yeah, so to describe this guy, it's like his hair is all black, and like yes, like her Hitler haircut is making me feel ill. Is definitely what he's definitely
for sure. It is.
And Jeremy also noted that he looks like he's only pupils, and it's true. Like, he just
Yeah.
looks like he has black
He has
eyes.
no fucking irises.
So it just looks like a soulless man.
That they must have. There's a close up of him a little bit later where you can see that he's wearing contacts.
I saw that too.
Yeah,
Right.
I mean, I didn't read this or anything, but I'm guessing he must have been wearing
Okay.
some kind of
Yeah.
like lens to get that effect because it's like uncanny.
Yeah.
Yeah. His character isn't super necessary, but he's kind of like almost like a narrator or a MacGuffin kind of, because he like fills
Right.
in some
Well,
plot holes.
that's what I told Jeremy. I was like, he's the foil all across the way, because
Right.
every time Michael J. Fox is almost about to do something, this guy's like stopping it
Right,
because
well,
he's
The
an
only
idiot.
value that he added is that he's the one who really explained why people were suspicious of Michael J. Fox.
Exactly. He tells that backstory that no one else really knows to Lucy.
Yeah.
About the car accident and
Why does nobody else know it? It's in the same fucking town with the same police force.
Because no one else cares.
This is not a very good police force.
Dare you?
Yeah, so
This town's newspaper staff is
Well, they're dead now. I think there were two people.
yeah,
and they're both
they
gone.
do die. Yeah, yeah, but they established that this guy is fucking nuts. He was undercover with like some cults. And he's completely unhinged. But he does explain the accident, what happened to Michael J. Fox's wife.
and we have a missing utility knife.
Missing
from it.
utility. Yeah, somehow
Because
that's
of course he
anyone
would
noticed
know.
that.
Yeah, and as I noted, I was like, who the hell would know that he had a missing utility knife? So
Right, like it's just not like, oh, there was a missing size 13mm socket. Like who? What are you
right.
counting? Like, come on.
Right, like imagine like you go to any notable construction worker and you look at their vehicle, and then later you're like, I noticed you're missing a tape measure.
Right.
Someone's like, I have 7. like, all right.
How dare you all say that these cops are podunk when they were able to discover that he was missing a fucking knife?
Right, right.
That's incredible police work.
Admittedly, we later find that knife, and it does have his damn initials on it, like painted with white out. I'm like, you son of a bitch.
That was weird. But
Well-
I mean, we needed it. But he also tells that during the accident, Michael J. Fox wakes up, didn't know what happened, but his wife is dead, has a 13 carved into her forehead.
Yeah, and now it's time to go to the museum. Frank's at a museum, and they're doing museum things, and another woman has a number carved into her head.
I think the biggest mistake he made in this movie is not letting this woman die.
Yeah, this woman really jams up his ram jam.
Because, like, I mean, if she had died, so like he sees this number on her forehead.
He tries to save her.
It's like a gala. There's a million people around. Cops like see him and have guns drawn on him. If he had let this fucking woman die without him touching him, he would have been done. Like,
I know.
She's his biggest enemy at this point.
Right. They don't like each other. Just be like, put your hands in your pockets, Mike. Just sit this one out. This is going to go way better.
And unfortunately, he
doesn't.
punches her in the face and
One of the
Kidnaps
many
her
women.
after being shot at by the cops by like 1,000 times.
These cops are gun crazy.
They
What
are.
the hell?
They started
He is obviously unarmed, and they do not care. They're taking out like priceless fucking pieces of like antiquity.
right. Well,
Fuck your mummies.
indeed.
Speaking of fucking mummies.
Oh gosh.
Hey, Judge.
the judge.
Well, yeah, the judge, Stu and Cyrus show up to help out.
But unfortunately, the judge is killed. And if you are ghost killed by a ghost, then you are killed.
There's a lot of rules in this movie.
Yeah, so as Colin noted, he's extra dead.
I guess I don't understand
Double
that.
dead.
You don't know how double death works?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I do, but earlier, the judge shoots Stu in the face, and he comes out okay.
It's not about
Well,
that.
it was a cheek shot.
But but his cheek was falling off, and then it got better.
But they were just goofing.
They were.
Boys will be boys,
Okay.
even in Ghost World.
Yeah,
The clown was down, so
The
he's
judge
fine.
ruled it.
Yeah, okay.
When you
Ghost
double
physics
die,
are loose.
there is no heaven.
I see.
Damn right, Jim.
Like Stuart gets sucked into the car and gets eviscerated, and he's fine afterwards.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. So, like, you know,
You got a demon ghost, and demon ghosts, demon.
he was. He has a scythe or whatever. Is that right? Did I say
Yeah.
that? Yeah.
That is a good question.
Yeah.
Like, why?
But he does get he gets cut.
The judge is no more. And yes, as Michael J. Fox punches this woman, he then basically does the equivalent of he puts her in the car, and then metaphorically, when you're a teen and they tell you don't drink and drive, they give you those like drunk goggles. That's just what he always does by getting into the car and immediately drives right off the road. And she flies out the car and she is still alive. She is like crawling out and he's like, you don't understand. And then he sees that this ghost kills her. And then he is on top of her trying to save her. And as her ghost comes out, she sees only him and is like, you murdered me? Oh my God. And a portal opens up, and as she is sucked into this portal that takes you to heaven, hell, or other, she is just cursing him out the whole way. Like, you son of a bitch, you killed me. Like, you're a bad person. Like, I hope you rot in hell.
What else is she supposed to think? Like, you punch me in the face, then you kidnap me, then you fucking wreck the car.
The one thing I will say in his defense is the ghost was screwing with him while he was trying to drive away.
That's fair.
What she could think is, although this night got wacky, it's not the worst date I've been on. Yeah, think about that for a couple minutes.
I will.
Well, Frank then just turns himself into
he
the
does
police.
think about it, and he turns himself.
I like this scene because Milton is telling Sheriff Walt, he's like, this guy's got connections, he's smart. We're not going to see him for a while. And the sheriff just turns around, he's like, he is behind me. I'm like, what's going on? and immediately the interrogation begins.
Yeah.
Frank does tell Lucy, he's like, I'm full of shit, I lied to you. He doesn't believe this, but he's like, I lied to you. He also has a flashback at some point in time. And I don't know if it's here, but I think it's here. When he sees his wife killed, he now knows what happened. Like,
Yeah.
And I think that's triggered with this other woman or later on. He's like, oh, wait, like my wife was also killed and carved up by...
Yeah, like he's remembering kind
like
of
a ghost.
happened.
There's another component to this, but he does remember ghostly things.
Yeah.
It happened in two parts, and he started to remember it in the car accident, and then a little bit more later.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes it comes back to me in my dreams.
Dreams.
In the police station, we also have. She was very young at the time.
It's Paulus.
What?
The Paulus.
The Paulus station. Yeah. We have a Melanie Linsky cameo.
Oh yeah.
She's obviously a bigger name now. But
I know. I pointed out. I was like, oh my god. Like,
I still don't know who that is.
well,
I mean, she's in a lot of stuff. But a year prior to this, she was in the Peter Jackson Heavenly Creatures.
yeah, she's really known for Heavenly Creatures. That's her start. The Last of Us. She was in a couple episodes.
Yeah, she's The Last of Us. She's in the Stephen King series, fuck, whatever the Hulu one is.
Chompers.
She's in Chompers. She's in Yellow Jackets, which is a fucking dope show if you haven't seen it.
Show.
Yeah.
Oh, that. God damn.
What? She's like the
She's
old
the
version of the main character.
The actor she plays is a different actor or the different character. So it's the same actor but a different character.
Yeah, she doesn't play the same character in that movie.
She does not play the town sheriff in a cameo role. Or a small role.
This is a very small cameo.
Yeah,
Well-
she doesn't even say a line.
No.
She's also, I think, probably like a teenager, but she's playing a police officer.
Yeah,
for some reason.
that's what caught my eye.
Yeah,
Like, what's
like,
going on
why
there?
is there a child wearing a hat?
Before the full interrogation happens, or simultaneously, Lucy goes to Frank's house. She wants to investigate because Frank's like, I've been lying to you, and she in the core of her being is like, I don't believe this. Like something's off. She goes to investigate, and she hears, old school, there's an answering machine message, and it's the old woman from the house being like, oh my God, my daughter Patricia, she's communicating with the dead. You've got to get over here. Beep. And so Lucy's like, maybe I'll go check that out. But then we like, as she's going to do it because she wants to go assist like in any way she can. She's like just a do-gooder, and I like Lucy for that. So Lucy like goes to the house. She uncovers a lot. Like Patricia's mom's freaking out. She's like, you can't be here. You've got to hide. So she hides in this wardrobe in the old woman's house. She finds Frank's carpenter's knife.
You keep that. You keep it around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For weird reasons. And so she's hiding and then kind of escapes from the house. But simultaneously, basically, Milton is grilling Frank. He's like, dude, we've got over 28 murders. It all starts with your wife. And you think sort of that this FBI agent is kind of on the level. A little bit. Like, he looks weird. He looks soulless. But he is asking pertinent questions. And he's like, ever since your wife died, this happened. You're a psycho. I could prove this. I've gone through case files. I know people who, like, deal with the occult. And you're like, okay, like, maybe he's kind of like Mulder X-Files-ish. Then he goes shithouse mad. He's like, have you ever heard of this girl who, like, killed a frog with only her thoughts? She killed a frog with only her thoughts, and that's what you're trying to do to me, Frank.
She fucking did it.
And she did it. And so he rips off his shirt. He's like, I'm wearing a lead-plated vest.
Yeah.
You can't stop my heart.
Where does one get one of those?
Yeah.
He made that. That was custom.
In all of
Maybe
this,
he stole it from the restaurant. It was one of the waiters.
I kept telling these guys in all of this that one of my favorite lines comes in this. I don't know why. It's just the way he delivers this. He's going through all the killings. He's like, your wife died, and this person died, and this person died. And then we talked about, randomly that guy died in the bathroom. And the way he says it, he's like, he just goes, and what about the guy in the toilet, Frank? What did he ever do to you? Piss on your hush puppies? I was like, what the hell? Where did that come from? But yeah, Frank just looks distraught, and they lock him right up. Like, he's basically catatonic. He's like, yeah, I totally did it. Like, he's like saying that, but like, he looks soulless and dead on the inside, and he didn't do it.
I like that scene of Milton interrogating Frank. We were talking about the Peter Jackson thing of filming close-ups.
Yeah.
There's a lot of good close-up shots, but also the way that camera works is kind of a shaky cam, but not too irritating. The back and forth between Frank and Milton when they're talking. The camera work here I really enjoy. And then when this is the scene where it really zooms in on Milton, you can see the contact in his eyes, but it zooms in really close and you can see the insanity on Milton's. He's clearly unhinged and insane during this interrogation scene.
So there's a Peter Jackson scene when they zoom. Like, I think this is like very notable, Lamar, that you bring this up. I totally agree. Like, Milton is like really zoomed in. There are so many memes about a very specific zoomed in Peter Jackson scene, and it's the Lord of Gondor eating those damn tomatoes. I see memes about that, just like tomatoes, and it's like
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, it's just like Lord of Gondor approved and stuff.
Sorry, he is the steward
Or
of
the
Gondor.
steward of Gondor. I'm sorry.
Thank you.
Gondor
Lord
has
of
no
Gondor.
king. Gondor needs no king.
I stood down.
Damn it.
Yeah. So good call on that. But yeah, Frank's basically catatonic. So they basically develop this weird plan. Lucy gets out of the house. She does see some like ghostly things and starts believing Frank and was like, I need to talk to Frank. So of course, as any town would, and as all these gentlemen in this room noted, they're like, Lucy's like, I need to see Frank. They're like, yeah, go in his cell. Go talk to him.
Go right in there. It's fine. We'll leave you alone with him. We think he's a killer, but that's fine.
Do you need to bring him some food? Is he okay? Yeah. Bring him a Game Boy?
Here, give him this knife.
The house scene was kind of significant in that it started to reveal that she was like...
Patricia.
Yeah. They started to hint at who the killer was.
Patricia ain't
When she
Nisha.
found the knife and
she's
weird...
Well, the knife, and she's got a weird urn.
weird urn.
That we think is her father, but
Where do you put your weird urn?
In my...
big urn?
Yeah,
bedroom, I guess.
next to the coffee.
Well, she, while there, is there's an attempted murder for her, and that demon cloaked Grim Reaper comes in and tries to grab her heart. Frank's able to see this and stop it a little bit, but we get Cyrus and Stuart really trying to stop them, and they're like, no, Frank, like, we tracked this guy down. So they are just able to go through the jail and leave. That's how you just do that.
Yeah, you just leave.
Well, she's like, I'm done talking to him. It's all cool. And then, some things happen and they're able to leave. But Stuart is killed. Unfortunately, he's ghost killed.
Aww.
Cyrus is soon to follow. Ghost killed.
Aww.
Two of my favorite characters, even though I love Milton because he's just a weird psycho. As far as good characters, I love the two ghosts.
Yeah.
Frank does kick a gun out of Milton.
Yeah, so Milton tries to stop him, and Lucy's like, oh my God, he's trying to kill me. And he's like, get behind me. And she fire extinguishes him in the face. They knock him backwards. And Frank pulls a 1 in a million move where he kicks Milton in the chest and a gun just pops up.
It flies up in the air.
Yeah, he grabs the gun out of the air. And he's like, let's go, babe. Let's go, babe.
That was cool as shit.
Yeah, we're official now.
He actually goes, babe, we're going ghost hunting. That is a verbatim quote from my imagination. And so, yeah, they do go ghost hunting.
Yeah. Well, he's like, you know what? I gotta die.
Wow.
I can only do this when I'm dead. So he's like putting the gun to his head, and she's like, okay, just chill out.
Yeah. He was quick to that.
Yeah.
Too.
Like, I'm a questionable doctor, so like we can do this with medicine.
I am a questionable
So apparently
doctor.
the two options are he's gonna shoot himself in the head and die. He's like, I need an out of body experience, and I need it now.
Right. She's like, no, I'll put you in the pea freezer. And
There's pea and sperm in there.
Yeah, she's like, I'm going to put you in this freezer. You might not live, but at least we have a chance, dude. And he's like, oh, yeah, okay, let's do this. And she's like, you got like 20 minutes.
Also, at least it's less gross.
Yeah, she's like,
there's a lot that goes down in this 20 minutes.
Yeah,
it's a
totally.
hot 20 minutes.
Yeah, so in 20 minutes, he does freeze and has an out-of-body experience. And then he goes to the cemetery. Is this like immediately where he goes?
No.
Because
he flies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Milton captures what's her name?
Yeah.
Lucy.
Okay. Yeah. So sorry. Yeah, that's my notes. So while this is happening, and we'll just say kind of simultaneously, Milton busts in and he takes Lucy to the cemetery, and she's like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "I'm gonna wait longer than the 20 minutes, and I'm gonna make sure Frank dies." But while this is happening, Frank floats up. And I do like that he has like no sense of his powers. He's just like floating around
he doesn't know what he's doing.
Yeah, like a weird like loose kite in the wind.
Right.
Like,
well, because also as we're driving to the cemetery, unbeknownst to Milton and Lucy, the Grim Reaper thing is trying to kill Lucy.
Yeah.
And Frank is kind of like clumsily beating it off.
Yeah, he is.
Incredibly competently somehow.
Yeah.
He's like, I did do the guy in the bathroom because of those hush puppies.
Yeah. I'll pee on your hush puppies. I got a jar of pee right here.
Yeah, so he eventually gets to the Grim Reaper and beats him up.
Yeah, it's like a ghost versus ghost thing.
Yeah.
And then he turns into a goo platter.
He does. Yeah.
And then he whips that into shape.
Yeah, this is like the real Lawnmower Man shit.
Mike, would you crack that whip?
I would.
I'm sorry, would you crack
that one? So, yeah. Well, that's a story for another time.
Tell us, man.
No, that's okay.
This will be a 4-hour episode.
Yeah, no, this is fine. We're on hour 3 now. Yeah, he. Fuck. Milton is like. he takes his shirt off and he's all cut up and he's got tattoos.
He's like, I've lived through the cold and through pain,
And
and there is enlightenment.
Right, like Lucy's trapped in the car. He thinks he's moving the car with his mind for some reason. I don't really know why
Well,
any
it's
of this is
because of
happening.
the frog thing, you know.
It's the
He
frog,
had that
yeah,
in
it's
his
the frog
head.
thing.
It's because it's because of pain.
But
Yeah.
but Frank's driving that car away.
Yeah, and this is like Frank's trying to escape because he uncloaks the ghost, sees that it's he realizes who it is now, who the Grim Reaper.
Yeah,
ghost is.
he literally takes this goo puddle and just whips it.
He
Like,
whips the goo.
Yeah, and
he's
then
like-
turns into Johnny Bartlett.
He's beating it like he's like making a pizza. And this is like some bad special.
Mike, would you
effects.
say he's beating it like he only has one day to live?
That's exactly how he's beating it. But yeah, like the goo turns into a face, and it's the Buse. It's Bartlett.
So he beat the Buse into shape.
Correct.
Nice.
Yeah,
The bees.
beating the Buse.
He's like, I'm Johnny Bartlett, damn it.
Yeah,
And then all these ghosts. Well, also we never even noted one of the cameos. We should note for Lamar,
That's true.
the drill sergeant
Yeah.
from Full Metal Jacket.
Arlie Ermey.
Yeah, I was going to mention that.
I was
earlier.
wondering if we were going to mention that guy.
Yeah,
But
he
he
shows
makes
up.
a reappearance.
He was critical with his
Yeah,
ghost gun.
he was there earlier,
He had double ghost guns.
and then he is killed
He is killed, but Michael J. Fox takes the ghost guns.
and kills him and kill. Well, that's how
Well,
he kills.
yeah,
the,
that's
the
how he
Grim
kills the
Reaper,
Grim
and then
Reaper.
whips him into shape.
Yeah.
But then all the ghosts come out of the cemetery. They're like, "Hey, thanks
Thanks for
Like,
killing that
killed
guy
us."
because he killed us, and,
And
that
then
guy sucks.
And then Johnny Bartlett escapes.
Yeah. It kind of makes you think, all you fucking ghosts are here, and none of you.
Right.
yeah, like you didn't want to help.
Couldn't gang up.
What the hell?
Yeah,
And so what happens is Michael J. Fox is about to end Johnny Bartlett.
Yeah.
Like, he is like has the upper hand, but unfortunately, 20 minutes is up and he's zapped back into his body.
yeah. Doctor, what's her name?
Yeah, she got
zaps
him
back.
She got from the cemetery all the way back to where
I do like.
they were.
Well, the guy Lucy works for is there too. He's like, oh, we got to revive him. Like he's just on board.
Yeah,
Like I don't know what's going on.
even if like
Why is this guy in the freezer next to the semen?
yeah,
That guy listen, Jeremy, that guy just came from the night restaurant. He had a couple bottles of wine. Anything goes. The night is loose.
You know, Lucy's
Lucy.
husband, the husband just died. She's single now. Doctor's doing his.
Oh, that guy's dead too. We never even mentioned Ray's dad.
Yeah, we did. We talked about it.
well, like he's doubled.
No.
Oh,
we
yeah,
did-
yeah.
There's no heaven
Ray's
for
ghost is done.
Ray was with Lucy when she went to go see Patricia, and he was like, "I'll help you," and he can't do anything, and he's gone.
He turned into like a duffel bag that got thrown.
Yeah,
into
that
He
was,
did, yeah.
That was fucking gross.
Ray
Like,
Duff.
the double dead ghosts. Like,
It was gross.
oh god, yeah. They just turn into like flesh sacks,
Yeah.
and they just. Yeah. All right, let's move on.
Well, basically, Michael J. Fox is like, "Oh man, we've got to go back to this house. Like, I now know what's happening. Johnny Bartlett's alive." This weird doctor is like, "We've got to get him to the hospital." He's like, "Nope." Yeah.
Not on my watch.
So yeah, they basically go to the house, and they're like, "We need to stop it. It's Lucy and it's Michael J. Fox."
Yeah, they're like, we need to get Patricia out of this fucking house.
Yeah, and Patricia's like, "Oh, my mom.
Yeah,
like
my mom's here.
Like, I don't want to leave without my mom, mommy. Okay, can I leave with mommy?" And you know what mommy's saying? "She's batshit crazy. She's communicating with the dead. We've got to get her out of here."
Yeah, we were kind of led to believe that the mother was kooky.
I
The
do-
mother, not kooky.
I like this twist. The mom was right. The mom realized. So the story is this. Johnny Bartlett teamed up with Patricia, and like much like a Manson murder, Patricia was carving the initials into people's heads. And the twist was, yes, a ghost of Johnny Bartlett did kind of finish off Michael J. Fox's wife, but the carving came from Patricia. They've been working in unison this whole time.
Even after his death.
And they're
Even
both
after-
like obsessed with serial killers.
Yeah,
they want to beat the record.
Yeah.
Yeah, John. They keep noting like these fictitious serial killers, and at one point in time, it's like this one person has 50, and they're out of the country. We got to give it back to America.
Were they fictitious? Because I mean, a couple
Oh,
of them
really?
were real.
Yeah, Gacy's real.
Yeah, they mentioned
I
like
didn't-
some
I didn't-
heavy hitters.
I didn't hear Gacy in it, but yeah,
Yeah,
I mean, that's real.
They did mention a lot that I didn't recognize, but I'm not. This is why we need Nemo here because she's the authority
yeah.
on
She's a
serial.
serial killer.
There we go.
Nice. Nemo, where are you at? Halloween Spooktacular.
Yeah, she'll make a list. For us.
Absolutely.
Well, yeah, and that's the twist. And so the other twist is Mommy's dead. They killed her. Oh, here's the weird thing. I don't think she had a number carved in her head.
No.
No,
Like she didn't count.
No.
Mommy didn't count?
Well, they,
the whole time?
Takes a while to carve those numbers.
Mommy didn't get one?
Get 'em.
well, they took the box cutter. She didn't have anything to do it with.
Yeah.
And it's, they have like an Excel spreadsheet now. They don't need to.
And this is when we learned those ashes aren't daddy's. It's Johnny Bartlett's,
Yeah.
and that's how he's kind of alive. And they do get the ashes and make a run for it. They're like, we could basically cleanse the ashes if we get it to holy ground. And Lucy's like, there's an old chapel in a hospital.
Yeah, in this
really
whole
close.
town, there's only one hospital. Or
That
there's
looks
only one
haunted
church.
as hell.
Well,
And it's
the-
in the haunted hospital.
Closest.
Yeah,
Clearly.
and the
Very
hospital is
convenient.
directly behind the house that they just escaped from.
I would have made a longer drive to a real church rather than going in this bullshit.
Yeah, the
but,
church,
sure. Smart.
that's just me.
That's why you make the big bucks.
That's right, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, during all of this, and I do like this, Frank has like a lot of weird flashbacks. I feel this is effective because it does give you a lot of backstory.
Yeah.
So they're in this hospital, and Frank is like overcome, like with these flashbacks, clearly because he has a connection to the spiritual realm. And the key flashback is, and it's kind of funny, he's like, oh my God, like, where's the chapel? And immediately there's a flashback, and a doctor's like, the chapel's on the 4th floor. And I love, like, Michael J. Fox says, like, this huge, like a Back to the Future nod, like, dope.
Yeah.
But then immediately there's, like, this orderly who's being a disorderly.
I was really hoping someone would say that.
Nice.
Thank you. Nod back. Listen to disorderlies.
Yeah, 3
Fat
years
boys.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, crazy. So with this, we see the Johnny Bartlett start, and it's him gunning down all these people in a hospital. This is where he kills 13 people, and then they take the police eventually get him. He is executed. We know his story. But then the backstory is Patricia was like, oh, she was brainwashed. She had no part of it. She was totally an accomplice. She was the girlfriend. She had everything to do with this. Michael J. Fox knows this, but him and Lucy are split up. She's going up an elevator, and unfortunately, Milton is the foil. So he is tracking Lucy down. She gets stuck in an elevator. Michael J. Fox finds her. She's like, listen, I'm stuck. Take the urn. The chapel's right there. He starts breaking down the wall to the chapel, and Milton just takes the ashes and pours them out. And, he's like, you stupid idiot. Like, you don't even know what you've done.
Yeah, well, Milton also one-ups himself. He lost his pistol when he got punched in the stomach. He now has a fucking
submachine
Uzi.
gun.
Yeah.
He pulls out a submachine gun. Like, hey, everybody.
Yeah.
Turns out he was the gun master all along.
He was the gun master, yeah. Well, he uses the gun to shoot Frank in, I guess, the arm.
Yeah, the
'Cause
shoulder.
He
Like
came
4
through it
times,
okay.
yeah.
Places, I think.
Yeah, but he kind of fucks the whole thing up. That what's her name shows up because she's following him as well. The bad one, Patricia, yeah, and with her infinite shotgun.
Oh, she's
power.
going gun crazy.
Yeah, she's shooting everything. The door too many times, which is why there's an R rating.
I honestly, when she shot that door that one extra time,
Yeah, you were like, ooh.
You were like, I'm done with this.
I actually paused it and I was like, guys,
Paul?
like I need a moment.
Right
Yeah.
up until that, you're
We
like,
gotta keep going.
I could show my young child this movie. Ooh, that last shot.
Yeah, I was
That's,
like, if my child was awake and saw that door,
yeah.
there would be nightmares.
Yeah, well, and not to mention, she also shoots Dammers in the fucking head.
Oh, he's
and it explodes.
Mike, what's he not going to do?
He's not getting up from that.
Mike, what if
Not his mortal coil
what if I-
anyway.
yeah. Well, yeah, of course, the mortal coil.
Yeah, you shake that off. That's what happens. Yeah, and it's his head pops like a
Nope.
like a pimple. Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. It could be Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Whoops.
Whoops.
And then it covers himself.
Yeah.
The wacky part is his ghost is just right there. Like, unlike the other ones where they had to come out of it,
They take a second. No, he's right there.
immediately.
Oh yeah, the head is there.
Ghost head.
He was ready for it. Ghost Head is a different movie.
Don't Google search ghost.
Yeah, I'm
No,
definitely
I'm not going to say anything about that. Fuck. What happens? Oh, yeah. So he gets his head blown off. But the reason he gets his head blown off is because what's her name? Patricia. God. Patricia is about to shoot Frank, and Frank's like,
And he falls to the floor.
falls through a hole in the floor.
All the
intentionally.
floors. All
Many
the floors.
floors.
He just keeps falling through floors.
But yeah, when he falls, like Patricia shoots Dammers instead by accident.
Each floor has the same weak spot.
Yeah, that was a very poorly built
Yeah.
facility.
Yeah.
But so now he's he's died already. He brought back to life. He's been shot, and he falls through 4 floors.
And he's dead.
And then he is dead again.
And we don't really know that for right now.
Well, no, he's not dead yet.
No, he's not dead.
yet.
Yeah, he gets choked out.
He gets choked out by Patricia.
That's right.
Has to
Whose
come
name
down
I
there
don't
and
know.
He's about to die. So they're correct. And then she chokes him out. Now he's dead. And Lucy is still alive. And
Well, yeah, Lucy's about to get killed by
they're like,
abuse.
he's going to be number 4. She's in 42 or 41, whatever
Yeah,
they're at.
yeah.
And so Michael J. Fox, in his last saving throw, sees the portal that we've talked about, like it was Ghost. And he grabs Lucy and goes up the portal. And
No,
she
grabs
Patricia. Oh, sorry, grabs Patricia.
That's right.
He just
And-
fucking grabs the life out of her.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Snatches her spear up.
Well, it was like I totally agree. Like it was like an all or nothing move. Like he goes in back of her, like grabs her waist, like full like bear hug from behind, and just like bounces up.
Suplexes her life out.
And she's like, "Oh my God, help!" And Johnny's like, "I'll find you." And so they go up the portal and they keep going and going. And he kind of stops, like Michael J. Fox, that is Frank. Like he is kind of pulled up, and we see Cyrus and Stuart.
Yeah, Cyrus is wearing a dope pimp suit.
And Stuart's wearing like a cooler clothes.
Yeah,
but
he's like
kind
wearing
of,
like cool motorcycle guy jacket.
And yeah, like he's like updated. He's like the bookworm. Like yeah, it's more like a motorcycle jacket. And he's like the suave, good-looking guy. You're like, come here for a second, Frank. And he's like, oh, and it's clearly heaven. And then he turns around and Johnny and Lucy are like, we're going back, you idiot! I got her. And then it turns into a worm hell, and they are eating.
Yeah, like for like Beetlejuice.
Yeah, totally, Jeremy. It's like a scene right out of Beetlejuice. These worms come out. They're dead. They go to hell. And they're like, hey, buddy. To Frank, that is. They're like, it's good to see you. You've done good. And his wife's like, Frank. And then they're like, it's not your time, Frank. And they kind of gently push him back.
This is kind of fucked up because he's like, I'm here. I'm with my wife who I miss. And they're like, we need you to go back to Earth and fuck this other chick for a while.
They're like,
he's like,
you got to live, Frank. Oh, that's not the sound he makes, Mike. They're like,
that's not the sound he makes.
They're like, you've got to live. And does it? Yeah, give it to me. Anyway.
He's like, he's like, oh, I'm not excited about this at all.
And he goes back. And
Like, have you seen this town that I live in? Yeah, I like it.
and they live. So he does go back, and then we kind of see that he's demoing his house that he never finished. He was this architect, and he's going to start fresh. He's now with Lucy, and then the Sheriff Walt rolls up. He's like, I've got this conspiracy theory, and we found all these things. Maybe you want to write a book. It could get me off the force. And he's like, I don't know. And he's like, yeah, I'm not doing that. Maybe your guardian angel could help you. He's like, guardian angel, that's a good one, Frank. And then in the back seat of Walt's car is Milton, looking very
Milton
glum.
doesn't look happy.
Yeah, he's very glum.
Yeah.
And then we hear a cover of Don't Fear the Reaper by Blue Oyster Cult, and the movie wraps up.
And who performed this one? It was like the
Molten birds or some shit.
Muggins birds.
Oh, the mutton.
Mutton birds.
Mutton birds. The Mutton Birds is a New Zealand band who, based on the quality of this cover, fucking sucks.
The Mutton Birds were the waiters at the medieval times.
They must have. You know what? Yeah, I know you're joking. That band had to be in this movie somewhere. They had cameos.
Oh,
yeah.
It is New Zealand style.
Well, we've got some Halloween-y things to get to, so before we break this up, what is everyone's last view of The Frighteners? 1996, Peter Jackson, Michael J. Fox?
Wow.
Who's starting?
I'll go first, yeah. I still had an absolute blast with this movie. Like, it's hard to find a pure ghost movie. It almost always devolves into some kind of demonic bullshit. This doesn't. It sticks to the ghosts, and it has really unique, kind of like ghosty physics and ghost rules, which are not consistent at all. But it's super fun, and it really makes the whole kind of movie pretty fun. So I still absolutely love it. Rami?
I enjoyed this, but I think that there's a little bit of a disconnect in the level of violence and gore and like the rest of the plot. Like, I don't care. Like, violence, whatever, it's fine. But I feel like the movie would have been a little bit more cohesive if they had have actually targeted that PG-13 rating that maybe they were going for. Like, it felt like there's a little bit of a disconnect between how people are getting like shot in the face and this and that, and like the arc of the plot is very tame. I don't know. Like, I mean, yeah, it's like there's the villain over here. It's this. Well, I don't know. I felt like there was a little bit of a disconnect between the way that they advanced the plot with its like wackiness and like the actual content of the movie. I did enjoy it though. It was a fun watch.
What did you think, Jeremy?
Yeah, I like this movie. I've always liked this movie. Watching it again, I guess with you guys and like going into this reviewing the film, there are some things that, like, I don't know, that I just like. This almost seems like it switches back and forth between like a light-hearted romp and like trying to be a serious horror movie. And I just noticed that this time I still like this movie. I just noticed some of its faults more, I guess, this time around. I think that's only because I was reviewing it. But I really enjoyed this movie. I always have.
Yeah, you guys were talking about how there's a big difference between the zaniness and the seriousness of this movie. I don't think it's that too far apart. You can take this movie as a whole, and it's not overly zany or too serious. I think it sits alone with what it's trying to convey. And with that, you can have a good, fun experience with it.
It's definitely fun. Yeah.
Like you guys, it's a fun movie. Banger cast, even though there's one overpowering actor named Michael J. Fox, but I like all the other actors in this movie. The guy who plays Milton, we talked about it. He's a weirdo, but he's a great weirdo in this movie. I like the sheriff all right, very small part, but I thought Lucy was okay. I thought Patricia was pretty good as just a psycho, and I kind of like that aspect of how you want to take her side, and then they did that little turn on us. I did not see that coming when I first saw it, but there's not much I can say about this movie that it stands the test of time. If you've seen it in the 90s or if you've seen it for the first time, you're going to have a good time with it. Pass over to Mike.
Yeah, it's the same. I agree. Like I like this movie a lot. I've seen it a bunch of times. I saw it when it came out. All the actors do a great job. Part of me is on the Rami camp, which is I wish they would have picked a lane and either made it like a more accessible PG-13 movie or just gone like balls deep and gone full R. But if they had done either of those things, it wouldn't have been as good as it was, I don't think. So I think Peter Jackson did the right thing. Was like, fuck you guys, it'll be R, but for dumb reasons. All the actors do a good job. Yeah, but the special effects are a little bit dated. But if you watch it now for the first time, like you'll go a couple times. But overall, I think you're gonna get it. Yeah, I think this movie stands up. I think it's fun. I think it's well cast. I like Peter Jackson as a director, and I think it definitely has his vibe. It's a good watch.
I agree with Mike on this. That like the weirdness of the film that I noted early on is in that confusing state of, should this be PG-13? Should this be rated R? And it just like as a viewer, especially now, like as Jeremy noted, like because I'm reviewing this, you do feel the pull in like different directions. But I agree, it wouldn't have been as notable. Like last week we did Silver Bullet, and we talked about similar things. It was like they only showed the werewolf here and there, and maybe some of the special effects were like dated, but they did it right. It was like a flash, it was quick, and some of it was almost like silly, and that's why it holds up. And that's why I feel this movie holds up. This movie, I don't think is an A for me, but it's a fun B that I'll always go back to. And maybe I have varying degrees of a B. Is it a B, a B plus? There are some things that I feel are just strange in this film.
The DD.
The romance between Lucy and Michael J. Fox is just kind of weird.
It's immediate and very awkward.
Yeah, that's like the weird thing.
Baby.
There's like just a couple other things. I do love Milton. I do love the two ghosts that we noted. Michael J. Fox, I love. Like, he is a powerhouse. I as I was watching this movie, I just kept thinking, like, what if someone else played the role of Frank? I can't even imagine. Just because I'm like, Michael J. Fox pulls this movie together for me. Like, he is what is serious and what is comedic and why it works. And I don't know if someone else could really effectively pull that off.
I think Andrew Garfield could do it.
No, he couldn't. He can't do anything. One of the pieces of trivia was that no one else was considered. It was like, it's Michael J. Fox or we're not doing
That's
it.
awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel that. Like, I feel
Yeah.
that. So for me, the portion of the movie that is an A is him. Like, that is always solid, but there's other things that need a bit of refinement. And yeah, I'm not like poo-pooing on the special effects. That's just dated, and there's nothing you could really do about it. And I agree, you'll get over it. But to continue on this Halloween spectacular, we're going to do some fun things. And before we get there, as always, and I'm doing this a little out of order, feel free to reach out to us at rabbittroopsuckspodcast@gmail.com. If there's any kind of film that you would like us to review, you have some insight to those films, you want those isolated sound clips, we could provide them for you. Just let us know. We love talking about film. In addition, feel free to go to rabbittroopsucks.com proper. We have links to merchandise. We have links to various pictures of us, and as always, you could stream directly from our website, but we could stream anywhere. So if you're on one platform, feel free to jump to another. I like to use the podcast app on my phone. That's my preference. There's also YouTube, Amazon, etc. Feel free to give us 5 out of 5 stars. You know you want to, and we're also on social media, Instagram, Facebook. But before we get into anything, I think we'll probably take a really small break. And with that, we're going to come back and play our traditional Halloween game. My wife put together a bit of trivia. There are prizes included. It'll be pretty quick. So let's take a break and we'll be right back. So we are going to play some Rabbit Troop Sucks Hollywood movie trivia. And all of these gentlemen know the rules. And the rules are this, that I will list cast members of movies. And it's going to go from less known to more known. And as I list them, anyone could basically ring in, and if you get the right answer, you get a point for that round. At the very end of all of this, whoever has the most points, then you will win a prize. So
I'm way too high for this.
Awesome.
Good.
All right. I'm going to go Vanessa Shaw, Omiri Katz, Thora Birch, Kathy Najamy, and Bette Midler.
Witches.
That's
2.
a theme. Nope, nobody.
Witches of Eastwick?
No.
So we got nobody here?
Hocus Pocus, 2. Hocus Pocus.
Hocus Pocus 1.
Mike is getting a point.
Okay.
Mike's getting a point. All right. It was Hocus Pocus. So 1990
What is Hocus Pocus?
1993.
It's a movie with Bette Midler.
All right. Roger Jackson, Rose McGowan, Skeet Ulrich, Drew Barrymore,
What the?
Nev Campbell.
Scream.
Nice.
Ah, man.
Very good.
Damn it.
Look at all of you. Shamed.
We are being shamed.
Now, if this was a character quiz, I think Mike might be screwed here.
I won last year, so I'm
Jenny,
letting Mike have
Patricia.
this one.
All right. Jimmy Workman,
Oh,
Yeah.
Christopher Lloyd, Raul Julia.
Adam's Family.
There we go.
Nice.
That is a point for Lamar. All right. Elin Green, Levy Stubbs, Christopher Guest, John Candy, Rick Moranis.
Little
Strange
Shop
Brew.
of Horrors.
Good job, Lamar.
Nice.
Oh,
nice.
Why not?
That makes sense.
All right. Amber Heard, Abigail Bresden, Bill Murray.
Zombieland.
There you go.
Nice.
Neat.
All right. We got Mike and Lamar. Pretty close. Oh God, I'm blinding myself. Like Robert Goulet, Jeffrey Jones, Catherine O'Hara, Gina Davis, and Michael Keaton.
Death Becomes Her?
No.
Damn it.
Batman?
Nope.
What the?
The same director, if you want a hint.
Oh.
I'm going to call this a wash.
Ooh, wait, give me one more second.
Yep.
Fuck, I don't have it.
Edward Scissorhands.
I'm going to cross
Oh,
this
no,
out.
wait, Beetlejuice.
I'm going to give it to Mike.
Yeah.
This is Beetlejuice.
I was there. It was right there.
Back around
God damn
on
it.
All right. Dylan Moran, Lucy Davis, Kate Ashfield, Nick Frost, Simon Pegg.
Shaun of the Dead.
Good job, Colin.
Yay.
All right. We got Colin on the board. Thomas Hayden Church, Brenda Bake, Jada Pickett Smith.
Oh, that's
William Sadler.
dead.
Demon
Night.
Well, so was that Mike that said those words?
I said Tales from the Crypt, but he said Demon Knight. I don't know who you want to give that to.
I'm going to give it to Jeremy. What's Jeremy on the board? Jeremy's going to get a sympathy point on that one. We only have a few left. Well, a few more.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh my god.
Well, I'm just laughing because my wife put this together and I was like, oh my god. Jeffrey Combs, Peter Dobson, Trina Alvarado, John Aston, and Michael J. Fox.
The Frighteners.
Very good.
Oh, I know this one.
Goddamn, like,
What was the name of it?
Yeah.
Nell Campbell, Barry Boswick, Susan Sarandon, Meatloaf, and Tim Curry.
Rocky Horror Picture.
Good job, Rami. Rami's on the board.
Nice.
All right. Maybe get a couple of tricky ones here. Timothy Simmons, Ken Marino, Amy Ryan, Dylan Minnette, and Jack Black. I think you might have
Goosebumps.
Good job,
Nice.
Jeremy.
Wow.
I was going to give you a date to try to get you there. Good job, Jeremy.
Wow.
All right. Stephen Root, David Arquette, Hilary Swank, Donald Sutherland, and Christy Swanson.
Buffy.
Duffy the Band.
Who said it first?
Yeah, Mike had it.
All right. Ooh, Mike, getting at 5. Ian McShane, Dawn French, Keith David, Terry Hatcher, and Dakota Fanning.
Hellboy.
Yeah, good job, Mike. It's Coraline. All right. Louis Black, Elijah Wood, Bebe Neuwirth, Clea Duvall, and Josh Hartnett.
Oh,
Fuck.
yeah. God damn it. Fuck. It's the
The in between is why I love the games.
it's fuck.
I can't think of that movie.
I'm gonna give you a couple seconds. Anyone?
Can you repeat the name?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Louis Black, Elijah Wood.
You hate this movie, Mike.
That's not true. Louis Black, Elijah Wood, Bebe Neuwirth, Clea Duvall, and Josh Hartnett.
Oh, The Faculty.
Good job.
Wow.
Mike hates the end of this film.
Yeah.
I was thinking of it different. Louis Black's in that?
Can't believe I couldn't come up with that.
Joey King, Lily Taylor, Ron Livingston, Patrick Wilson, Vera Farmiga. Sorry, I should put the light on this more. This came out in 2013.
Oh, it's 30 Days a Night.
Nope. No. You're stuck on Josh
Yeah,
Hartnett.
that's Josh Hartnett, yeah.
Jeremy's all into Josh Hartnett tonight. Josh. Anyone?
Fuck.
Call this one a wash. That was The Conjuring, 2013.
I don't think I've seen that.
Nope.
I'm going to go in a different order that my wife has. Evan Rachel Wood, Diane Wiest, Stockard Channing, Nicole Kidman, Sandra Bullock.
Sandra.
1998.
Bullock.
It's not The Others, is it?
It is not.
Okay.
Anyone? Call that a wash. That is Practical Magic, 1998.
That's not that practical.
Forgot about that movie.
They're making a sequel to it.
Wow.
Oh, good.
They shouldn't.
Hopefully it'll
I
be
got,
memorable.
I got 2 more. I guess we could do the tiebreaker, but it looks like unless there's miracles and points, Mike's winning this. But Mike, you could slaughter them now, Halloween style. So,
Is this the bukkake round?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Chauncey Leopardi,
Oh yeah, Chauncey.
Eric Idle, Kathy Moriarty, Bill Pullman, Christina Ricci.
Oh shit.
1995. That should help.
Casper.
Yep.
God damn.
All right. All right.
I haven't seen that in ages.
I'm going to do what the tiebreaker was. We'll just call this a wash. And I have one more real question for points. But I'll give you the tiebreaker in case we need it. The tiebreaker was David Spade, Steve Buscemi, Fran Drescher, Selena Gomez, and Adam Sandler.
Oh, that's Herbie Hebert.
Nope.
Little Nicky.
Fuck. Herbie Halloween.
Nope. Neither. The right one or the incorrect one, neither. 2012.
Well, that's not that.
And it's animated.
Oh, fuck.
So it's not Little Nicky.
It's Hotel Transylvania.
It was. That was the tiebreaker. Here's the last one for points. Oh, God. Giancarlo Esposito, Yardley Smith, Laura Harrington,
God damn.
Pat Hingle.
Maximum Overdrive.
Good job. And Emilio Estevez.
There you go.
He was the guy in the arcade.
Well, Lamar, I got you a little something.
What?
Lamar gets gifts.
Oh, shit.
Nice.
All right. And that to me. What is
All right.
that?
Well,
Thank
Lamar,
you.
happy
Wow.
Halloween.
Hey, thank you.
And
That wasn't tied to the winner.
What was
Perfect. I like it.
the point total. Oh wait, sorry, that was from Mike. Why? I'm sorry.
I was about to
so
say, what
excited.
the
Mike's like, what?
I was so excited. I have other things. Sorry, Mike won. I'm just excitable. It's Halloween. Mike won. The point total was 8. Lamar had 3. Colin had 2. Jeremy had 2. Rami had 1.
Damn, that was a slaughter.
All right,
Yes.
that's it.
Sorry, Mike. Sorry,
Oh,
Mike.
that's all right. I gotta. That's nice.
Hell yeah.
Everyone started talking. So yes, happy Halloween. There have been gifts. I have gifts for everyone in the sack over here.
What is the gift that might, or
It's-
not
it's
the
a-
gift, the fucking prize?
It's a bat wine opener.
It's,
oh.
I've never seen anything like
Very-
that.
Have one
It's
for
very
you?
spooky.
Yeah.
It's very spooky.
Hey, can somebody explain to me what the winged demon is doing out in front of the Denver Country Club? Have you guys seen this thing?
They're just hanging out.
No one has seen it. You're the only one who sees it.
That's what I'm starting to think, because
I've never seen that.
it is out there, man, and I was questioning. It is terrifying.
You should
dude.
go see a priest on that one. Because I don't see it. There is no demon. Only in your mind.
Did Mike just text all of us?
No.
It's a scam. Don't answer it.
It is. No.
What did I?
I think I got a late text and I was very confused about it.
My phone is on the table next to me.
Super bizarre.
The bat did it.
It did.
Well, yeah. I mean, I hope everyone had a super Halloween. As I said, that veil is supposedly thinner, so enjoy whatever that means. But I'm glad all 6 of us got to hang out. We're going to be back next week with a listener request. Thanks from Ryan, who wrote us and was like, "You've got to do Iron Eagle," and we're going to start a kind of month of requests. Sadly, we're leaving Halloween, but we're going to do Iron Eagle from 1986. Awesome request, Ryan. I can't wait to talk about it, and we'll be doing that soon. But yeah, any last words about Halloween-y things or anything like that?
Halloween. Hope everybody had a good Halloween out there and everybody was safe. They're still putting razor blades and drugs and
Are they?
candy.
I've been looking for the
Are they putting razor blades and drugs now? I think you can use razor blades with drugs.
You can.
I found the
So be
Coke
careful.
one. I just need the razor blade one to.
My frugal co-host is like, a razor blade I could actually shave with tomorrow,
Yeah.
when
Yeah.
I could save some money, and
Yeah.
now I have some
And
nightly
damn.
entertainment.
Is the razor blade like a Mach 3? Because I'll take
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, it's a Mach 3 and a cocktail of drugs. And Mike's like, party plans. Like, I'm gonna
Right.
watch a movie.
That's the parting gift for the Diddy parties.
Yeah.
Oh God, yeah.
It should be trick or treating for adults. Maybe they should give out razor blades
Right.
and drugs.
Like a Schick and some Alka-Seltzer, because you're
Yeah.
gonna need that.
It's all the stuff from the news.
Yeah.
You know,
Oh, God.
all of the things you're saying is making me think of why people in this room are not celebrating. A lot of fears. Yeah. Any last Halloween thoughts anyone has? Super fun Halloween things.
I just wish that I could just keep watching horror movies.
You can.
Yeah, you don't have to stop.
That's the magic of movies.
No, I got to give it a break.
Okay.
You know.
You guys got to get back out there. Colin said he's willing to go dress up. Mike is reminiscing about those clubs.
Yeah.
And I was like, and those are the fun things as it was like. There were stages. You guys, I think, just have to find it. Like, as kids, you dress up, you get candy. Mike did not, which is unfortunate. But as an adult, like Mike...
I dressed up, they just no one gave me the candy.
Oh.
We could make a second Halloween on, like, December 23rd.
Yeah.
You know?
Done.
Done.
Yeah.
All right,
well, I
guys.
hope everyone in Denver goes out to those clubs. I hope you celebrate. It's unfortunate that Halloween's on a Thursday. Next year it's on a Friday, which is amazing. But yeah.
That was the sweet spot, like, when we were... late 20s.
Get on the weekends and stuff. Yeah, because like everyone, like there was like a Halloween where the time changed too. It was like you actually got an extra hour. We're like, are you kidding me?
It was like 2:00, and they're like, "Fuck that! It's not. It's 1 now." And I'm like, "Oh yeah,
yeah,
keep going."
I think one again. So like the metamorphosis of liking Halloween and stuff was always like, as a kid, I got some freedom. And then it was like have some candy and stay up and watch these like now like for me really nostalgic shows or movies or things like this. As an adult, I have said like pretty openly like I didn't like going to clubs. I didn't really like going to like wild bars like this. But Halloween was always a different night for me. And I feel like everyone's vibe when you would get to like a more weekend oriented Halloween party. Like everyone's just like, dude, you just like everyone should be chill. And if someone's not chill, get the hell out. Like I really feel that was like a lot of the places we went to. Like, would you disagree with that, Mike?
No, that's 100%.
Yeah, it's just like a very open. Like I hope everyone's okay. There's always going to be like weirdos out there, but like weirdos are going to be weirdos.
Yeah. I mean, you could take your picture with random people. Like, I love your costume. Let's take a picture. Like, it was more open. It was fun.
There was a night I was walking down Colfax, and there was like 5 like straight up police officers, and I was like, "Can I take my photo with you?" And they gave me the look like we're all officers. I was like, "I know," and they all did. And they're all really nice about it. So, I think the view they had was like, "Is this guy drunk? He's not. He seems sane. All right, like whatever." And they all like kind of posed for it, so it's fun.
I once went on a date on Halloween with a chick dressed as Madonna and her wing woman dressed as Joan Jett, and it was awesome.
Nice.
That sounds awesome.
It was awesome.
Good time.
Yeah.
My lyrical shout out as we fade out is a Smith song. There's a club if you'd like to go, and you can meet someone who really loves you. So you go and you stand on your own, and you leave on your own, and you go home, and you cry, and you want to die. Sad shout out, but hey, I hope that's not your Halloween. You should go to a club where everyone loves you and you don't want to die. But as always,
Good advice. Yeah.
Rabbit Troop sucks.
It's not your time.
No, yeah. There is no heaven.
The sound you make when they're out of your ice cream flavor.
Yeah. No heaven for you today, Michael J.
Dude, it's hard to get that whoa right.
It is.
It can't sound too
It was
whiny.
so weak.
Yeah.
It sounded pretty whiny.
I don't know. We have to go rewatch this movie just so we can find
Okay, well, yeah, we'll do that. We'll report back.